Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0. This is episode 79 of Roundup. Live here in the studio, we got Grady, and on Skype, we got Josh.
Yo.
So, Night of Champions. This is normally where I'd ask, did you see the pre-show? But I don't think anybody cares about the pre-show.
There wasn't a match on it, so no, I didn't even bother watching.
No, there was a peep show, but I heard that was completely rushed.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
True.
I didn't care. I checked to see if there was a pre-show match. When there wasn't, I skipped it and went on straight to the pay-per-view.
You'd think if they were making the pre-show an hour, they'd put a match on it.
Yeah.
So, first match, tag team titles, the Usos defending against Goldust and Stardust.
And you knew the night was not going to go well for me when the Usos came out first for their title match.
No, you really hate it when the champs come out first.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it wasn't the only occurrence of this.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But, so, I'm pretty sure you were picking Usos.
Yeah, I picked the Usos because I didn't see the point in putting it on Goldust and Stardust. And really, I want Cody Rhodes as a single star.
Mm-hmm.
They're complaining so much about not having enough stars. Well, there's one right there that you could push, and you put them in a tag team and made them tag team champions.
True.
Twice.
Yeah, I think, there's definitely a lot of things on this show that maybe weren't the smartest choices to go with.
Yeah.
But
some were made even more stupid by actions of the next night on Raw.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about those when we get there. We can tell them. If you haven't watched Raw, just stop listening when we start mentioning it. But, so they finally got the Cosmic Key. What's in their future now?
I have no idea. Obviously a rematch.
Yeah.
Usos. Other than that, I have no idea. Because as I said, I want Cody Rhodes as a single star.
Yeah.
I wanted them to fail and then Cody to just flip out on Goldust. And finally break the Stardust character.
I think we're playing the long game with that, though. Maybe we're finally going to get the two at the WrestleMania match they wanted.
Maybe.
But either way, it's a very long build to the match that Goldust has been wanting for, 3 years now?
Well, he said he doesn't want it anymore.
He still wants it. So, what match was up next?
After that, it was the United States Championship match.
Oh, the second bad decision of the night.
No, actually, it was a good decision. Great match. Absolutely great match.
Yeah, but Sheamus Super Cena'd it. Gets beaten horribly the entire match, and then in the last minute just pulls out a finisher and wins.
Sheamus had plenty of offense in the match as well.
Not nearing the end, though. It seemed to be the Cesaro show.
But yeah, it stole the show. It was match of the night.
Okay.
And Cesaro won a lot of people over backstage with this match, too.
I hope he did.
For me, I think, and with the state of the other main card championship is in, I think this was actually a good decision because it kind of builds the championship up to being a bit more important when you have such a passionate match about it.
Compared to the other title. And what they're doing to that. But yeah, it was a good match. I still think that we need, unless we're going to put Cesaro higher up on the card, we got to do something with him. He's, at least until this match, he's been falling down the card quite badly.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see him. I don't think, because there's only one title now, there's a sort of pipeline that just blocks at the top where you got your top guys, and then everyone else just can't get there because there's only one title. So you got all these talented guys that are stuck down in the mid card.
middle card championships with those guys.
No. You just have the titles dumped after one day. That's the smartest decision of all. So what's the next match?
Mark Henry versus Rusev.
Yep, probably one of the quicker Rusev's matches.
I thought it was a good match. It wasn't a great match, but I thought it was a good match. No, actually, the next match was... Actually, I was mistaken. That was an interview with Mark Henry, where he was giving... And Big Show.
Ah.
Where we're giving him the singlet with the flag on it.
Yeah. See?
Actually, the next match was Miz versus Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, we can talk about Henry Rusev. Order doesn't matter. But yeah, that segment backstage makes me think I was leaning in the right direction with my Henry Big Show plan.
It's entirely possible.
It needs to happen. But
it's also entirely possible that the Big Show turns on Mark Henry.
Yeah. I think that could happen as well. He seemed... For a match that was so built up, I'm pretty sure this match was shorter than both of the Swagger and possibly even the Big E match.
But I think Rusev gets more out of it because of how strong the Big Show, strong Mark Henry is. So I think he gets a bit more out of it because you can believe it more with him dominating a former world champion like Mark Henry.
Yeah. It definitely does help him, especially if they go that route and then they start doing Big Show. But I don't know, he still seems tangled with the Wyatts. Big point, where were the Wyatts tonight?
Wyatts weren't... I think Luke Harper has an eye injury, and so I think they're keeping him off television to not diminish any one of the three.
Okay.
He's been working with an eye patch, apparently.
It just seemed that the Wyatt family just sort of floated out a little bit.
Yeah, they weren't on Night Champions, and they weren't on Raw either.
Okay. So we'll jump into our classic entrance theme. It's Night of Champions from 2008. I think it's the first one under the name Night of Champions. It's Devour. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh. So the next match that we're jumping back to, Intercontinental title, The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler.
Alright. I have no idea what they're doing now. I just don't.
Yeah.
At a time when they need to be building their mid-card championships because their world championship is on somebody who's going to show up maybe twice a month at the most. They're absolutely just burying the Intercontinental Championship.
Well, how long was Ziggler's reign? Like one pay-per-view, pretty much, right?
And it was the same deal for The Miz before that.
So The Miz had
Miz won at Battleground, lost at SummerSlam.
Yep.
Ziggler won at SummerSlam, lost at Night of Champions.
Miz won at Night of Champions.
Night of Champions, lost it on Raw the next night.
What the hell? It really does make no sense.
And it just really pissed me off.
I think it pissed a lot of people.
I have no problem with Ziggler being the champion. My problem is taking the title off of him and then putting it right back on him the next night.
They did that with Barrett at WrestleMania, wasn't it? He lost it on like the pre-show and got it back.
Yeah, you lost it to Miz.
Yeah.
Then Miz lost the title right back to him the next night.
I don't get it. I really don't. What's the point in having one-day reigns? It doesn't do anything for the superstar, and it doesn't do anything for the title.
It makes the title look like an very expensive paperweight.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the state of the Intercontinental Championship is that said, in the image of Damien Sandow with a toy version um, standing next to Miz on Raw last night. Because that's basically all that championship is right now.
They could be doing so many things here. I'm at least hoping that we get something out of this and it isn't just some dead angle.
What they should have done was just had Ziggler retain and then moved on to a new feud tonight, maybe even against Sandow. To show that Sandow could get the job done when The Miz couldn't.
Yeah, that at least makes sense. You don't have random one-day title reigns in the middle.
Because all that does is just extend the feud that's been awful, to be completely honest.
So you don't like Ziggler and Damien Mizdow?
I just haven't liked this feud. I mean, the matches were good. The match on Raw last night was a phenomenal match. It's just been an awful overall feud.
Okay. Well, talking about something that definitely hasn't been an awful feud, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose.
Hey, I got points for a fire forfeit. That was the silver lining from my not a champion show.
Yeah, so Roman Reigns out with surgery for his hernia, and Seth Rollins decided to take the cheap way.
Yeah.
And Dean Ambrose wasn't too happy.
Dean Ambrose sped in on a speeding taxi cab, and then proceeded to go beat down on Rollins.
Did we expect anything different?
No, we expected Ambrose would show up.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the Reigns-Rollins match was never going to happen even if Reigns had been healthy.
I did think, if that match was going to happen, you'd want to give it 15, 20 minutes, and that the time for all of the other matches would be screwed up, so it didn't make sense for that to be an all-of-a-sudden cut.
Yeah, it was never going to happen. The match was never going to happen, and it was in large part because of their new marketing strategy that they can do what's called a bait and switch, and they announce a match but not have it, because they're not because the pay-per-views aren't as important as they were 2 years ago, 5 years ago. This is another thing that I had a problem with the pay-per-views, because they were shunning people that were actually paying for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I got that. They were like, for those of you watching this on pay-per-view, you paid $39.99, whereas if you had the network, you'd only be paying $9.99.
It's $54.99.
$54. Your pay-per-views are expensive. But it's like, why are you doing that? There's still a portion of your audience. What's the point in completely obliterating them?
It's gone from desperate to absolutely insanely desperate.
Yeah, I think the network has flopped. Not as a concept, but as what they outlined they were going to get and what they have got.
I think the problem is that they're focusing too much on the $9.99 aspect and not enough on the content.
Yeah.
And what you get with with it, instead of they're focusing on the $9.99 with all that stuff with the commercials that they came up with the song and stuff.
Yeah. All I'm hearing is for $9.99 you get all 13 pay-per-views or however many pay-per-views a month sort of thing. And it's well no, for $9.99 you get 13,000 hours of archived footage. And you get all of those.
Yeah, you get the pay-per-view, you get specials and stuff, and original television and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not just the pay-per-views.
And I definitely think
makes it seem cheap.
Yeah, they need to focus on that other part as well. Maybe we'll make an ad for them. So this is a good time to jump into the current entrance theme. It's not really an entrance theme. Night of Champions this year, 2014, Night of Gold by Cephos. you're back with the Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh. So the match that we left off on, Chris Jericho, Randy Orton.
This was a good match. Orton and Jericho has good chemistry whenever they face each other. I was kind of disappointed at the finish of the match because I expected a punt.
Yeah.
I expected Jericho to get written off that way. But instead we got the Christian finish, which was ironic since Jericho was on the show with Christian on the Peep show.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the finish for every Christian Orton match was a flying RKO.
Yeah. Good match. Jericho's goodbye match for a little while, and Randy Orton actually gets a win for once.
Yep.
So then, the Divas title. I don't think you're too happy about this one.
Oh no, this goes back to my issues with the Intercontinental Championship.
Hot potato, hot potato.
Yep, that's exactly what they decided to do with 2 of their 5 championships they have left. Is turn them into hot potatoes and just toss them about. Because the last 5 champions now in the Divas division is AJ Lee, Paige. AJ Lee, Paige. And now, AJ Lee.
And soon to be Paige.
No, I'm guessing Stephanie McMahon, actually.
Yeah, true.
See, the match itself was good. It just buzzed the living daylights out of me. They swatched the title a month afterwards again.
See, another aspect that got me was, why did we focus so much on Nikki being put in the match? Brie did nothing, and Nikki just didn't do anything. The match just ended.
Yeah, Nikki wasn't the factor in the finish. It's not like AJ pinned Nikki or made her submit
No.
to get Paige's title. She made Paige tap out.
So what was the point in having Nikki in the match? It didn't further any feud. Other than maybe a you couldn't get the job done feud. But she wasn't involved in the finish. It just seemed really weird to be putting her in the match for nothing.
Yeah, because I expected her to take the title and then defend it against Brie at the next pay-per-view.
And instead we'll probably get Nikki versus Brie and Stephanie versus AJ.
Let's possibly get Stephanie versus AJ. I think we'll probably get AJ versus Paige again.
Yay.
And then get to Survivor Series and get Stephanie and AJ.
Hey, Survivor
Which
Series.
would probably be actually better.
No.
Overall, anyway.
They'll screw it up. They'll do Survivor Series and they'll do teams. So it'll be AJ's team versus Stephanie's team. And then you'll have that massive cluster of
And
divas.
then you're going to have both Eva Marie and Cameron in the ring at the same time.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
That ought to be a bombshell. Seth?
Yeah. I really hope they don't go that route, but they do have 2 diva feuds going, so you could just merge them. It seems like something you could do. Hopefully they're not. I really hope.
I think we need to move on. We're running out of time.
Yeah, if we're only going to see one Survivor Series, we will probably see the Authority versus whoever. A bunch of non-Authority guys. How long is Reigns meant to be out?
Anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks to 10 to 12.
So he could be out a lot longer.
We're looking at 1 to 3 months.
Yeah. 1 month is missing Hell in a Cell. 2 months is missing Survivor Series. 3 months is missing TLC.
Which was allowing him to return to be the Royal Rumble.
Boo. Too obvious. Everyone returns at the Royal Rumble now. It's just expected. It's like Royal Rumble. Who's going to return this year? But then
I said he should come back and be the number 1 person in, and then eliminate 13 people to win. Break his own record and win the thing.
Yeah. Or if Vince McMahon gets his way, the return of The Rock. Just saying. I love how there's just no answer to that. We'll just move on, eh? WWE title, Brock Lesnar, John Cena.
Well, it's pretty much what we expected it to be. We expected Cena to get more offense in and to be a stronger opponent for Lesnar this time. But honestly, the decision at the end of the match, the way that they ended the match, completely wiped out anything possible for the match itself.
Yeah. Seth
I
Rollins.
don't have a problem with Seth Rollins coming in and getting a disqualification for it. My problem is stopping the cash-in.
Yeah. Cena did that, I think, by attacking him.
Yeah. If you want to stop the cash-in, couldn't you figure out a way to maybe have Dean Ambrose break out of his restraints that he was put in earlier in the show? Have him come down and break up the match.
That would make more sense.
Or, and this would have been a better decision, put the title on Seth Rollins.
Nah, keep it on Lesnar.
Then you don't have a part-time champion anymore.
But
and
this...
you can start building for the future.
This way we get to have Hell in a Cell, and we get to have a Hell in a Cell match between Cena and Lesnar.
Well, the way they looked at Raw last night, I don't think it was going to be that way.
Ooh, sounds like something's gonna happen.
The way it looked on Raw last night, it looked like Cena was going to get put into the middle of the Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins feud.
Huh? What?
Do you want Seth Rollins?
Oh, that's confusing. I figure Seth and Dean will go, hopefully, one-on-one in a cell as well to stop Dean from running away. Oh, Seth from running away. But, I don't know. This also may just be planting the seeds so that when the inevitable Survivor Series Authority match comes up, that John Cena can be on the non-Authority team. Since Roman Reigns is possibly out for that. So you just need to put a strong leader on that team.
Yeah. But with Reigns gone, they kind of missed out on an opportunity to have a possible like 6-man match at Hell in a Cell. Because you could have Cena, Reigns, and Ambrose on one side, and you could have the Authority, Rollins, Orton, and Kane on the other side.
But we can't get that.
Nope.
So we've got about 2 minutes left. So we've already talked a little about it. Do you think there's any other matches that we're sort of hinting at?
I think we're going to probably get Brie versus Beth, Brie versus Nikki, and the winner gets to be called a Bella.
Boo.
I think we're going to get. I think we're not going to have the world champion on at Hell in Cell.
Okay.
I could see Cesaro versus Sheamus being done again. I think ultimately that would probably be a good match again.
Hold on, new plan. Thought of something much more exciting to talk about. The bunny. The bunny is in the ring.
Yeah, Buddy got in action. Woo! Still no idea who it could possibly be.
It'll be an NXT guy. I'm hearing a lot about NXT call-ups lately.
A lot of people were confused by a cryptic tweet they made that the next generation was coming.
Yeah.
Turned out to be nothing more than the trailer for WWE 2K15.
Hashtag feel it. I think that's what they're going with. So we'll leave you on the bunny note. It's been great talking to you, Josh.
Peace.
So you can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio, or our website, wrestlingroundup.host22.com, wrestlingroundup.host22.com. and I'll see you next week.